Doing it now. 3, 2, 1. We're live, everybody. Welcome.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
And here we is. We're all live. Look at this.
Yeah, we're all live. Well, some of us.
Well, some of us could go either way. So we have a special
more live than others, I think.
I think so. We have a special guest
Oh,
from the
thank you.
Habana. Not you, the man in the red sweater. But we have a special guest from the Habana Drinks and Cigar Show. So Riz is going to join us today because we're talking about our favorite type of person, a
How are you,
special
Adam?
kind of idiot.
Good, and you?
Adam, David, Stephen.
Hello. I get to
It's
see
a
him.
program about idiots. I have to be on.
Yeah. I wouldn't miss it, if it's about idiot. We have today's topic, it's the invasion of idiots. And this comes from last time episode that we're speaking about men. And I think Reza wants to add something to last week's episode.
The reason is, and I was watching that broadcast this morning. I was screaming, throwing stuff at the screen. I was cringe, but I was enjoying it so much. And I said to Stephen, bloody hell, my brain is about to explode.
Don't worry, you can speak your mind
why
here.
Why don't you explode on mic? Get on the show. So here we are.
It's like I said, we're going to do a show about idiots today. I said, if you really want to explode,
that's a continuation of men. So it's an extension of men. So, so we can continue.
Is it exclusively a man thing to be an idiot? I mean,
no. It's a general thing. Thanks God, nobody can accuse only men for being idiot. So, but
anyone can be an idiot at any time.
Anyone can become a man. They even change gender to become idiots. It's not a problem.
So is there not a female version of idiot then?
What is a female version of an idiot?
Well, wait.
Ring blow at the screen just now. Did you see that?
Yes, we did.
Because you're in a foggy atmosphere.
If you hang on a couple of minutes, you can see my ring.
I beg your pardon.
So I wrote last time something that I will read it all. This is the reason we have in this conversation. So Umberto Eco, Italian writer, he said once, social media gives legions of idiots the right to speak when they once only spoke at a bar after a glass of wine without harming the community. But now they have the same right to speak as a Nobel Prize winner. It's an invasion of idiots. So we took the quote from Umberto Eco to put it in the show. He's clearly talking about the internet and, the scientists who never really got educated, but they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're talking about the kids. You're talking about the kids on Instagram that know. Oh, I got it. You mean
it's not only kids, there are actually some older guys who, because they are older, they think they are wise and they know better than scientists which are specialized in things, all the time. But they know somehow.
Why is this limited? Why is this just limited to the internet? Because I mean, you can go. Occasionally I'll stand and wait in a queue in a supermarket, and people will be talking complete bollocks, and I just think, well, come on. So it's not just like
because something the internet offers a chance. For everybody with a clean, let's say, slate to talk about. It doesn't matter. It's what he says. It doesn't matter if you are a Nobel Prize winner. If there's next to you another guy who's totally unaware of what he's speaking, actually, because he read something, somebody told him something, but it stuck very well to his mind because, he likes to have conspiracy theories, or it fits his point of view of the world, and everybody's attacking him, and the misery that he is being put on, it's not because of his mistakes, it's mistakes of politicians, rich people, the guy next door, the football team, or whatever it can be, you know, but never his own mistakes.
I've been enjoying myself this weekend because I've been watching Trump supporters being interviewed. So that's been amazingly entertainment.
You think that we should put only the answers here and we're done with the show, right?
No, it's just the questions that they get asked. Like, I was the guy who was talking about the George Floyd thing, and he said, "What? It's all fake news. Never existed. Guy never did it."
Yeah, like the moon. They never landed on the moon.
But
so he said, it was filmed and everything, and he said, "No, it wasn't. It wasn't filmed. It was all fake news." And so he said, "Well, there are police films of it. There's TV people who did it. There are people who did it on their phones." He said, but
it was a trial, or it.
No, this was a guy interviewing on the street, like at a Trump rally, and they said to him, "Well, what did you think of it when you saw the video?" He said, "I never saw the video."
Yeah. What for?
But I read that it was fake, so therefore it's fake.
I doubt if they can read. I think he heard it. It doesn't remember from whom.
So here's a question then. When we talk about idiots,
whether they're many questions that arise.
Yeah, I got a lot of them.
Start the first one.
So the question really boils down to then: are people idiots? Or are they more idiotic today than they were in the past because of Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, podcasts, where they can listen to anybody who says they're an expert on something, and the person's technically not an expert on anything, but because they have 50 million followers, people are like, "Oh my God!" And the prime example of that is that kind of it.
I think people are 30 seconds idiots and 30-second geniuses. And it's either one or the other. And depending on whether or not you're standing to the right or the left of them, they're either an idiot.
That's a tragedy that they cannot stick into one. They're just one this, one the other. That's a tragedy because it's an identity problem. They don't know if they are idiots or geniuses.
Yeah.
They say over in this part of the world, very famous old expression, "A little knowledge is a dangerous thing."
That is true.
If you empower people, I personally think people should have to have an IQ test before they're allowed a YouTube or Instagram account. I'm at that level.
That's how we got ours. We took an IQ test.
There's a great arrogant presumption in that I can say that. But if we're going to have standards, having said that, one of the great advantages of digital media and everything is you really do see what people actually do think in their throwaway moments. If that's interesting and that's entertainment, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, well, it's called political commentary these days, but most of it's entertainment.
Which taxi driver on this planet doesn't have a political view?
Yeah.
For example. It's just
I was listening to a taxi driver yesterday on interviewed him, and they were talking about politicians in the past, and he said, "Who's your favourite and who's your worst?" And his worst politician was Boris Johnson. So they said to him, "Well, why?" He said because he had so much dandruff that I had to take the car to the car cleaners after I'd given him the lift.
On the inside of the cab.
Oh my God!
So that's how people value politicians, whether or not they got heavy dandruff or not. So,
but here's the thing: we don't teach the kids anymore when they go to university anything. So the kids coming out of university are idiots. I mean, let's be blunt.
Yeah, but they have a degree. They have a degree. Yeah,
they have a degree in being an idiot that their mommy and daddy went into debt for like $500,000 US for. So, but I mean, like in the States, we don't teach them anything. I mean, like I talk to some of these and I'm just like, what the hell? Like I have a friend's kid who's been Spanish for 10 years. And we were at dinner the other night. And I said, say something. I go, I don't know Spanish. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, we all looked at him like you've been taking Spanish since like the 5th grade. And through university, and you don't know Spanish?
They get embarrassed.
Well, listen, they don't know Spanish.
They teach them, but they don't study. It's different.
Then here's the question: who's the idiot? Is the idiot then the parent for sending their kid to Harvard or Yale or a state university where the kid learns nothing?
No, everything's an idiot.
Or is the child the idiot because it didn't take advantage of the fact they could learn?
Everything. Everything.
Everything?
Everybody. Everything is idiotic.
I got another one. Who's the idiot here? Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight was just canceled because Jake Paul's afraid that Mike Tyson's going to beat the shit out of him. It was canceled. I read something yesterday. I'm not sure if it's true. Wow. I heard that, but if it's true, Jake Paul's coming. He didn't want Mike to get hurt, and I'm thinking, I think you were afraid that Mike was going to kill you. So who's the idiot there? I think we all know. Mr. Tyson is not the idiot. So.
Well, I very quickly to cover the bases, if we're going to have a semi-empirical discussion, the definition dictionary, Google definition of an idiot, a person of low intelligence.
Right.
So all the politicians got it.
Not necessarily just a person who doesn't hold.
So AI is not an idiot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
AI is not an idiot.
Okay, so it's all those people that I regularly come across with extremely long arms and knuckles that are very bare to the bone. Do they fall into that category?
Some of them.
Well, as I say, low intelligence. Now, intelligence based on whose definition?
Correct.
Are the intelligent people define who the unintelligent are? Discuss.
Always intelligent people put the road to lead, right? It was always like this. This society has progressed because intelligent people, like, they were working for the society, and the society took it and managed to make it many things.
But even a broken clock is right twice a day. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So even a broken
everybody
clock
look, every intelligent or not can become an idiot at some point. I mean, I've been an idiot. It's
mostly men, though. I don't see too many stupid. I mean, I'm sure there's stupid women out there, but for the most part, for some reason, the women can cover it up.
That's not a road we want to go down, really. That one.
Oh, we're going to go down that road. That's going to get us a lot of ratings. And then remember, if you have a problem with what I said, my name is David Oldfart, and you can send all your medal if they're listening on the podcast.
Yeah. Too late, Stephen. I've already been wrongly convicted, mate. So
there you go. But my point is that whether you're male or female, and you say something stupid, or you act like an idiot, or you do something. I don't think there's a monopoly on it, and I don't.
The consequences are generally different. That's all.
Yes, women don't get shamed because they're an idiot. Men get torn apart. I think.
Yeah, is that because we live in a
society?
Yeah, I mean, is the world not dominated by men anyway? So we define.
Not really.
The good and the bad.
No, so, I think women pull the strings behind the scenes more than we give them credit for. And I think that's why they're not idiots. I literally think women. Listen, we all know women are the great manipulator. Let's listen. Like there's no strings, right? The woman wants something, she can do it. And men are idiots; they'll do whatever. They're like, okay, honey, and the drool comes out of the side of their cheek like Homer Simpson eating a donut.
Dogs and cats. Men are dogs. Yeah. I like cats.
Yeah.
Dogs are twice more intelligent because they have double
neurons.
Humans?
I can believe that. They're more intelligent than humans. I see that.
Dogs are faithful and show pure emotions. Cats are manipulative. If you sit quiet,
I think they're idiots. Just they think they appear to be like thinking and stuff, but they're just idiots. I have a cat. I mean, I don't have it. She's around here. She's very young, very, very thin, etc. She does only one thing.
She could be a supermodel.
Meow, 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 all the time. Only this. And I've come to a point to give her food. And after she eats, I said, get the fuck out of here with your meow, meow, meow. She's going to meow, meow, meow all day. The dog gets irritated because she wants to she takes us intruder.
It's like a
the dog told me that she's an invention of idiots. That's what the dog told me. When I asked the dog, she told cats about idiots.
But they say dogs have masters and cats have servants, and that's us.
Yeah,
I thought masters like PhDs or so.
Yeah,
but one of the signs of the idiots, I mean, in the internet at least, when they all show and pretend that they know everything, and they are pretty sure, it's a Downing Jr. syndrome. This one.
Down syndrome. Down syndrome.
No Down. It's
Down syndrome.
It's called
no, he's talking about
Dunning-Kruger. Dunning-Kruger.
I don't know that.
Dunning-Kruger, not Junior. Dunning-Kruger.
I was going to say the Robert Downey Jr. syndrome. You know.
No, the syndrome is that they think about their abilities, what they are they know and what they feel, and they impose those thinking to others. Not thinking that they are totally sure that this is what is going on. It's not a way around.
That's called a dictator. Hitler was one of those. Mussolini was one of
those. Dunning-Kruger. It's
stupidity and idiocy is perhaps a controversial statement, but more infectious than intelligence.
Yes, of course.
We had this conversation some while ago. Stephen and I and David had this conversation.
That is a good remark.
The world population is constantly growing. You're going to have more stupid people on the planet.
Yeah, and more made people.
Simple statistics. You're going to have more intelligent people, but they're always going to be outweighed by the number of people.
Are we back to euthanasia again now? Is that where we're back?
Well, no, not that. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a right to an opinion, and they're allowed to air it.
Eugenics, then?
2024, where everyone can say what they want on TikTok, and I mean, we're having this chat. Anyone can have this chat. There are college professors that have forgotten things that I have to learn, and so I still have an opinion. I can air it. To them, I'm a total idiot, total stupid. But having said that, there are statistically more stupid people, or idiots by the dictionary definition, people of low intelligence on this planet by comparison. But what are you going to do about it?
Are we referring back now to the original Make America Great Again? These who are deep supporters of eugenics. Yeah, but that's basically what it is about.
There's only one thing. Like Stephen cringes if I have anything, and I like this interaction. The Trump thing is, what was it in the 60s? The sticking it to the man.
Yep, sticking it to the man.
The part, every good person could do bad things. Every bad person could do good things. Every intelligent person could say stupid things. Every stupid person could say intelligent things, as you say.
Sometimes
clock is right twice a day. But the thing I like about that is the sticking it to the establishment. I do like that approach. Now, whether it has a really good motivation behind it or not, but yeah, it does open everything up to debate, and that's a good thing. One must use one's brain to question. And I guess the thing about fake news, if there is a nice silver lining to it, if there is a silver lining to something like fake news, is use your brain. If there is something in doubt, go and question it, go and research it, speak to the right people. But problem is that the idiot agenda does take over, and people, the flat Earth theory and all this.
Because they don't read. They don't read. That's the point.
They take the headlines. They take the headlines, and that's it. They figure it out from the headline.
It's not even
exactly. And I wasn't referring to Trump. I wasn't referring to Trump.
Let me just. They don't.
But all roads lead to Trump. So.
That's not true. So the thing is, though, people don't read. Like, and Riz and I've talked about this. I read like 50 different newspapers in the morning. So if somebody says something, and I see it in 50 of the major newspapers, from the Times to the Journal to I'm like, okay, this is probably, and you get everyone's opinion. You probably have a good idea. The problem is someone sees something on TikTok or Instagram or even YouTube, and they're like, oh, it's real. They don't know if it's real or not. They just saw some influencer say something, and they're like, oh my God, it's real. And that's the issue. To your point earlier, where you said when a college professor or a university professor makes a statement and you may not know, well, it's his job because he only teaches one thing. He better know that subject. But then some of them have no clue anyway. And now because of you have to have trigger words and woke society and all this other crap, I wouldn't want to be a university professor because it's like teaching 5-year-olds. It's like you're supposed to be teaching young adults. And so it goes back to, we're raising a society of idiots. Yep. Remember the movie America? That's where they go into the future and the two dumbest people from like the 2000s become running the country in the year 3000. I can't. It started. One of the Owen brothers and somebody else. It's so stupid that it's funny, but that's really where we're coming to.
But Stephen, why don't you think that this might be even some kind of a plan. Let's start the
alien. Do you mean the lizard people with the Illuminati?
No,
Yeah, that is our plan. I
this-
just don't want people to know.
No, the system doesn't want people to be educated or be intelligent.
Well, I keep trying to bring us back to the point of eugenics, because we haven't really moved very far on from that. Where an elite felt that anybody that didn't reach their particular level of education or their belief would be eliminated,
and
that would strengthen our species.
It'd be 20 people left on the planet. I like it. I'm good.
But we have no problem. We have AI now.
That's where the roots of Make America Great are in that eugenic movement, and you see it again. They were so influenced by what was happening in the US that certain Germans took that idea over in the late 20s, early 30s.
And we see how that went.
Yeah, you see how that went. So again, it's about who defines being an idiot, and who gives them the right to define, and if you fall under that line, what happens to you? And then again, who decides what happens to you? Okay, I'm an idiot. So
now wait, is that
have you ever seen an idiot accept that he's an idiot?
Well,
yes.
That makes you immediately not an idiot.
Was it Plato who said, I know I am, it's not verbatim, I know I'm smart because I know that I know nothing?
This is Socrates.
Socrates or Plato?
Socrates. He says, I only know one thing, because he had to make a logical statement. Yeah. I only know one thing, because if you say, I don't know anything, you know one thing, but you don't know anything. He was making a logical statement.
Yeah. And he said that just before he came out and played.
Anything. You're open to anything, basically.
Right. Socrates said that just before he came out to play for Brazil. So we all know that was right.
Okay, so that's a fine example. Anyway, but no, I think when you look at this, because people are afraid to say that someone's stupid or dumb or not smart or whatever, because we live in a society now where you can't say that, you'll hurt their feelings. I think that's idiotic, because at some point, if you don't tell somebody like you're stupid and you need to go learn, then they're stupid. They're an idiot. They can't
look. There is for me. There is also, looking at the social media, because it's a kind of social thing that we are living into, and it's very important now.
Right.
It wasn't so important 20 years ago, but it is now. For example, if you take the theory of flat Earth, this theory is total nonsense. Total nonsense. But something what I've watched, that the medias, they like to show it off also. I don't know if just for fun or either to make the idiots, because the idiots are fanatics. And the fanatics, they want to cling to each other, that you see, I'm saying the same thing that it's already like kind of proof, that I'm right, because he's also saying, another one. Right. They don't look at it. Look, another idiot. Another idiot. And they don't look at it. Another one who believes the same. That means something. And
a lot of these people, though, Adam, they live in a world of fear and
yes, they do. I think
a world of confusion, and so therefore
they don't understand the world.
Yeah, so they look to something which could answer a lot of their particular questions, and 9 out of 10 times it'll be a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but the answer exactly, but the answer usually is 3 words or 1 word, very easily answered. But the questions that we pose into the society in everyday life are complicated always. Like life is always complicated. I mean, just give me an answer to what is life.
David Copperfield. Do you remember the magician David Copperfield?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you remember? When you do these grand illusions and everything, there was this expression that kind of came up. I think it was in the 70s or 80s, called mass hypnosis. Do you remember this?
Yep.
Yeah. So we live in a world of mass stupidity right now.
Yeah. I think so.
We're all dumbed down. I'm part of it. I was going to make a very brash statement. I would say, if you're intelligent, you rule the world, and if you're not, you're stupid. Full stop. You're an idiot. We all pay our mortgages, and yet we think we own our home. 90% of it belongs to a bank. That's stupidity. You know, that's a form of stupidity. If you
Right.
Well, we agreed to this. Yes, you know.
So we buy into
financial.
this stupidity. Currency is a stupidity. Currency is not backed by anything.
Yeah,
Yet
yeah,
we
it's an abstract
exchange it.
concept. That's what I'm saying. It's an abstract
So
concept.
we buy into these things, and these days, the regression of society, I guess something along the lines that Stephen was talking about, the regression of society in terms of societal standards, upbringing, culture, is that stupid people cling on to one, whether it's religious zealots who cling on to one idea and use that to create great harm and discord in the world and great pain and such. They hang on to one idea, not the whole book of ideas or the whole philosophy. They hold on to one thing and say, this is wrong, and we're going to wipe out the rest of humanity as a result. And
you mean the Catholic Church? You mean the Catholic Church during the Crusades? God.
Any religious zealot from anywhere.
Yeah, Catholic Church.
Anyone.
Catholic
Hey
Church.
guys, I'm still
Has got
struggling.
something with Catholic Church.
Yeah,
I'm still struggling with the fact that the Earth's not flat. I mean,
well, scientifically,
You're fighting for your right to be an idiot.
If you study mathematics, you can reduce anything to a two-dimensional plane.
Right.
For example,
when I look out to the horizon, it doesn't disappear.
No. We reduce the Earth. We reduce the Earth to a flat map on a wall. So one person could argue, look, I've reduced it to a two-dimensional plane. A stupid person will pick up on that and say, yes, the Earth is flat. Full stop. Right.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, because he'll take the map for the territory.
There you go. So there is a sophistication of ideas, and I guess.
But how do we know it's not flat?
All of us
How do we know it's not flat?
Sorry,
that's what I want to know. Where's the proof that it's not flat?
We have
Seriously?
pictures.
Where is the proof that?
We have pictures. Oh, those pictures.
Which of those pictures? I'm not speaking about the pictures from the moon.
To a blind person, you don't exist other than by sound. So,
yeah,
it's a question of perception. It's just a question of perception. Now, if you pick up that little thread and just stick with one thread, you have an argument, but it's not a sophisticated argument. And the sophistication has gone.
You know what you're describing? You're describing the solipsism. Solipsism is a philosophical tendency that's speaking about that the only sure thing that exists is me. I don't know about you, but I know that I exist. But we all know that when the person dies, the other still exists.
Yeah, I know. But one can delve into physical philosophy, existential, any philosophy. Right. But the delving itself is the sophisticated part, not the picking one idea and holding it as that's it. And that, in my opinion, is what has pervaded this stupid world these days. You pick one idea that's important to you, and that becomes the be-all.
You're claiming we shouldn't stick to one idea.
I don't believe that sophisticated human beings stick to one idea.
Of course.
I agree.
But science is telling you this.
That's very important.
Look, science is telling this. In 17th century, there was Newton, or 18th century. He said that there is a magical attraction between the objects, and one attract the other. And the French were laughing for 50 years, to understand that the gravity, there is something like a magical pull. It's pulling things, and they had a hard time to accept it. But then Einstein came, and there is no such a magical force. It's the space-time that is bending. There's no magical force. The mass is bending the space-time, and because it's bending the space-time, the trajectory is fall into the. That's why they rotate around.
What you're saying at a simple level, if you look at mathematical science or physical science, it's just a process of discovery. There's no home truths. It's just various descriptions of the universe and a quest to find order in the universe. But it's a quest. You don't know everything. Even Einstein, I think he said something like E equals mc squared. But and he put a caveat in. I'll be shocked if it's true. And so
he put many things like that.
Yeah,
he said many things like that.
Stephen Hawking came along and said, well, was mc squared, but then also.
Yeah, the same with the black holes, because Hawking was with the black holes, and at the beginning had different views on them.
So he came up with the Hawking radiation.
But look, we're not speaking about that. We're speaking about guys who actually don't know what anything that Einstein said. He said something about relativity, very, very vague, and they can easily say, but he was wrong. He was wrong because, as you said right now, we are in a quest. We haven't figured it out all. Of course, how can we? We're still monkeys. How can we prove everything that's salient about the world? But we're on our way, having our tools, because science is a tool, right?
And this discussion, this doubt in our discussion is the sophistication.
Right.
Stupid people will find one thing and say that's true and nothing else counts.
I'm glad we're having this discussion today, because I've just heard out that it's not gravy. I thought Newton said that it was gravy that was, that we were all keeping us all together. But he's pronounced it differently. He says gravity. But I've always thought it was gravy. So, I'm glad
what gravy means.
I'm glad I'm on the show today. I'm just saying that,
guys, just so we're clear.
Salsa.
5 days a week. I put up with that. 5 days a week. It's still, you guys only get an hour or two.
Oh, you have 2 more days. You have 2 more days.
It's surprising then that the French didn't like gravy for 50 years. So that's even
now
they prefer jus.
And now, of course, there are new theories like quantum loop gravity or things like that, which says that space-time is even an illusion. It doesn't exist. There are many things, but But look, the equations of Einstein have something really, really important onto them. They work. Yes. We have managed to make those equations to work with our everyday things, like the internet we're using right now, is because of the equations of Einstein, among others.
But here's
and also with quantum mechanics and other science.
Here's the interesting thing about physics and quantum mechanics and whatnot. If we're going to go off for making David feel better about gravy. If you go off the beaten path a little bit, and you look at like UFOs for an example, and you look at that they stop on a dime, going from Mach something to Mach 50, and stop and make right angles that we can't do. That goes to Einstein's point that I may be wrong, and Hawkins' point they may be wrong, because in theory, we have a cursory knowledge of what physics and the universe is.
We're nothing in the universe. We're absolutely nothing.
Correct.
We are nothing. All the equations we have, all the theories we have are what we are able to describe.
Correct.
There's only
at a specific point of time.
There's only one scientific theory which is correct, and you put 10 scientists in a room and you get 12 opinions, and that hasn't changed. So,
well, not exactly like that, because there are some theories which have been proved and they have been accepted by the wide community of the scientists. It's not. We are debating on other things. We are debating on consciousness, if it's emergent or if it's fundamental. There are no answers there, but the equations of Einstein, they work. The equations of other scientists, they work. We use them every day.
Universe. They work in the observable universe.
They work in
our yeah.
But if you go to for example, Brian Cox, sort of like the current sort of media brain on physics, science right now.
Yeah, the baby boy.
The theories that are perpetuating now, intelligent theories are. We could be an infinitesimal microcosm of a universe that we don't understand, which in itself is the doubt, the acceptance of doubt that it might work here right now in this observable universe. In theory, there's also armchair physics, which is purely theoretical physics that is applied.
Reza, what is your background? I don't even know.
I did a physics and space science degree at university about.
Okay, so you're the right person. I didn't know.
70 years ago.
Doesn't matter, but you've done it. You know the basic. I mean, you've been studying it thoroughly.
I'm the first one to admit I only have a little knowledge. I'm a total bloody idiot. The one consistent philosophy that I understood, I resonate with. I'm a bit of a school history buff. I like to do school history kind of thing that sort of generally is
Einstein's theory of Isaac Newton's theory of gravy. That's F
equals ma, and is that we are so limited. There is a constant quest.
Yeah.
I find someone who says anyone who says this is the way it is and there is no doubt in it, that is the idiot in the room, as far as I am.
Yeah. And you know something, it doesn't have to do with education also, because to be honest, I find many scientists to be idiotic.
Yeah.
I mean, they come up with theories which are totally, I mean, okay, they have the right to do it. Of course, they should do it. It's their work, but they are totally ridiculous. I mean,
but remember, they come up with theories because they can't explain things, like the theory for some of the quantum theories. And they have the Thursday hypothesis that every day we live is Thursday, but we don't know. We have all these different theories. They have like, are we living in the Matrix? Like I read all this stuff in these scientific magazines and I chuckle because I'm like, we don't know. So because they have to keep their tenure at their university, right? They got to come up with something.
Exactly.
So they're coming up with all these different hypotheses. Well, then, it's a hypothesis, then it becomes a theory and then a law for the people that don't know. So they come up with these hypotheses, not even theories, right? Because they can't prove their hypothesis.
Yeah.
So it's very different in today's society, is because as we're getting smarter, my mom used to say, as we get smarter, we get dumber. Right? Because even if people are like, this is boom, and they're like, oh no, but it can be this. So since we don't know, and we have to appease now 8 billion people, we come up with more ridiculous crap, and we come up with more, let's quantum this and quantum that.
Yeah, but it's very complicated, you know. There's another parameter that we have to take account into, and it's about the scientific society, and Reza probably knows better. But those scientists, they need to work also, you know. They produce theories for work, for money, you know, for corporations. Right. Yeah, because they need, and they do it very fast, and they do it without carefully, you know, examining all the parameters and everything. Come up with ideas, you know, that they have no regional, no ground. I mean,
it's like I say, but they don't need to, do they? Because we have agreed that that they're academically qualified to tell us all this stuff, and we've agreed that we will listen to it as a social agreement, and so therefore what they say must be true.
Well, there was a talk about Elon Musk lately on X, and one guy, and they were talking about, you know, the science, and the guy who was academic, I think, he said that if you don't publish it, it's not science. To Elon Musk, who has been building starships and stuff, but I think as patents are somehow published, I don't really know how it works.
Musk's patents all come from like the 1800s and the 1960s. Nothing he has is new. It's all borrowed.
Yeah,
but
can
you argue that he's doing science in a wider context, because he's like
he's not doing science at all. No,
he's doing Elon Musk. He's doing Elon Musk.
There's no science in what Elon does. In my opinion, what Elon did
as a leader of a big team that is working with implants on the. This is not science. On implants, they are doing like without any.
No, there's 1,000. There's a whole article today in the Financial Times talking.
Who else did this? Who else put implant or have Starlinks or have created rockets? I mean, the guy is a bullshit. I don't like him. But who created?
A lot of people are. There's a lot of companies out there. Read the Financial Times this morning. It talks about brain implants. Elon Musk's company is not the first one to do it. They've been doing this since the 60s, doing implants.
Yeah, but still it's science, right?
Well, unfortunately, it's been going back a lot longer than that, Stephen.
Right, but my point is it science or is it technology?
The quackery.
The guy that invented the first vacuum cleaner took a pillowcase and a suction machine. I think he used to work in a hotel. This is maybe 90 years ago. Intelligent, innovative idea. It doesn't require the highest form of intelligence, but very influential tech. Doesn't require science. I guess what we're talking about now is people who have influenced, and whether that's a sign of intelligence or not.
Right. Just so you know, 1901, Herbert Cecil Booth, with that name you better invent something, invents the first successful vacuum cleaner. In 1907, James Murray invents the first domestic single operator upright vacuum.
Okay, but it is science, because it is like a extension of science somehow.
No, the point I'm making is that person was a janitor. I don't know his background.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff comes out of
necessity. He looked at a problem and said, "This is how you solve the problem."
Exactly. It comes out of necessity. It doesn't come because you're doing science or does whatever.
Yeah, but when you're facing problems with your rocket and you want to, have it back,
the advantage
it needs science.
Money. That's what you need, and that's what he's got in abundance.
Oh, come on. Okay, he can manage scientific community, team there, and of course he has.
If you talk to people that work for him and read books at people and interviews, he can't manage jack squat. He does stuff that's like, people are like, what are you doing? He's lucky enough, to David's point, that one, people will invest in him that like his style, I guess. Two, he got lucky with PayPal. So he has money. So when he starts these companies and does this stuff, it's not because he's the smartest or this or that. He was at the
money right now and always money right now is the fuel for everything. I mean,
I got a question.
Do you think that you can make art without money?
Yes.
Okay, you can do art for yourself.
I have a question.
Thank you very much.
Let me ask you this. Jeff Bezos then is a scientist. He has a space.
No, they are not scientists, but they are, in a wider context, they are contributing to science. They are.
They're not. They built a spaceship. Big friggin' deal with patents from 100 years ago.
Oh, come on. When did humans created rockets that can come back and be reused again? I mean, there's a lot of patents going on there.
The Russians did it in the 60s.
The Wright brothers built an aeroplane based on the observation of birds. You can call it science.
Right.
Of course.
haven't read enough about it, so this conjecture, I'm totally open to being wrong.
Right.
There was no mathematics involved in the history of flight at the beginning. Everything else after that, the sophistication.
So it was empirical, you mean, mainly?
Well, what I'm trying to say is science has very much definitely its place. Science has been mathematical science, observational science, theoretical physics has been the place for the past 150 years. But we didn't have it 200 years ago. We didn't have it 400 years ago. And it depends also what you want to describe as science. I mean, you can go back to the Arabs with algebra. The word algebra is Arabic, al-jabra.
Right.
It's their scientific notation, mathematics. I don't know how old mathematics is, but as far as I have seen, you can trace it back to ancient Egypt and Samaria. So it has come in phases and gone up and down in phases. But the Industrial Revolution, the last 150, 200 years, of course, you'll have to put it down to what is this?
This is the secret. This book, The Secret Lives of Numbers. This goes back to the beginning of history. I love this book. I read it already. It's the history of numbers and what they look like and what they are. If you guys want to know about the history and where numbers come from, this is your book right here. Yeah, there you go.
But that's also somebody's point of view / author of the book.
Technically, no. That is historical fact, and every review from the Financial Times and the New York Times and from the Smithsonian, everybody said that the person that researched it, or the two people that researched this, Katie something and Timothy something, The Secret Lives of Numbers.
Reading. The whole book is worth reading.
Yeah, because you go back to day one when they found the first set of what they consider the formation of numbers, and it's not what you think. It's very fascinating how numbers went from, if you will, 1 million years ago, what they used to do numbers with circles and dots and what everything meant, to where we are today. It's fascinating reading. I'm a geek, so of course I like this type of stuff. But anyway, it's a great book. But I don't think the problem is, and I should say I do think that what the problem is today everyone thinks they're an expert on something and they're not. So when we talk about Elon Musk, that becomes a touchy subject. When we talk about Bezos and they're contributing, they're really not contributing. All they did is they had enough money to go back and find a patent that expired, like his boring company, boring a hole from 1865, took something that's 150 years old and said, okay, we're going to now produce it. That's only because you have money. That doesn't contribute to science. All that does is prove somebody's technology, or if you will, their hypothesis 1 million years ago. If I can go back now and take all of Leonardo da Vinci's
Do you mean that every characteristic of what he's doing has been done already? He's not doing something new?
No.
I don't believe so. He's facing
No.
Well, I think he's facing new challenges when he's having the implant or the Starlinks or something. Because I don't know anybody else who has done so many.
The Germans were doing implants.
Yeah.
And
there were like nice implants.
Okay, the ancient Greeks were also doing some surgeries. Does it mean that they're doing the same way that we are doing now?
They did it better.
It has progressed, and science has progressed it.
There's a difference between There's a difference between science progressing and you saying someone making a contribution. A contribution to me is it's an original idea, it's original thought. And the four of us get together and you go, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do X, Y, Z. And it's never been done. It's not written down on some papers from a million years ago. We develop, and we go to the scientific community. Look, like when a guy develops a car that runs on water and the government steals it and then kills him, he has done a scientific development. That's okay. That's a development. But if the four of us get together and hire a patent troll to go look through patents, to come up with whatever, and we go, oh my God, look at this spaceship, blah, 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 we should build it. We go, look what we've done. No, we have done nothing. Somebody else came up with it. That is not scientific. That is nothing. That is just us having enough money to take someone's idea, not ours, and saying, look what we can do with it. That, to me, is not scientific. Scientific came when the guys
then in the when it was Renaissance, take it to the art part. The artists were living from the church because church had the money,
right,
to create great works with Jesus and all the things that were going on in the religion, to portray them, etc., etc. Is it art? Because it was asked from people with money.
Of course it's art.
And the artists came, so it's science also. Because rich people come doesn't mean anything.
Different.
You know,
no, there's a difference between you said scientific discovery, or science.
It's science anyway. In a broader scope, it's science.
It was science 100 years ago when I came up with the patent. That's science. I actually did it. All the money did is take my hypothesis and proved it. So the science was already there. All you did was prove it with money.
Yeah, but it's science. Look, it's not. There was no science until the moment that Elon Musk started to build up and throw away.
Science
Wait. Until he sent all the Starlinks, he was the first one to do it. We had satellites on the. We have a lot of thousands of satellites, but none has sent the arrays of satellite like this. I mean, this is something new.
No, it's not. The government does it. The government's not telling you. The other thing is here's what we don't
know. It might, but nobody did it commercial like he did. It's the first thing. It's scientific.
But not really. Here's the thing.
Well, there are practical issues that you cannot. You need to have science to solve it.
Here's the other thing that we have to look at. In this humanity's scope of history, this 10,000, 20,000 years, everything is wow. But if we go back, say, 10 million years, and let's say they were more advanced to us, and we know that because of what the pyramids, they're finding out what the pyramids really did, and there's pyramids all over the world and what's going on. There is a more advanced technology than we will ever be. So
which technology is this?
If you go, you have to, all the discoveries they're making in the Antarctic that they kind of quiet down, and what the pyramids were used for, and the technologies that they had.
But there are speculations because they don't know.
Let's speculate. They do, but they keep it quiet. And then let me ask you this then. So we'll say,
how do you know if they keep it quiet?
My friend, we've talked about this before. If I'm a church, if I'm a religion, or if I'm a government, and I tell you right now, we go live right now to everybody that's going to watch this show, and we say, we can guarantee and show you that there's life elsewhere. No, not only that, but if I tell you there's life elsewhere in the world and their technology to be more advanced than us, then let me ask you this. What are you? Are you Greek? Are you British? Are you US? No, you know what you become? You become an earthling. And the minute you become an earthling,
I was feeling this from the beginning. I mean, those are the Greeks, the Americans, the British, and everything. Those are stories that we have to have in my minds.
If I tell you,
create identity.
They're football teams. They're football.
Yeah, they're football teams. They play football. But if I tell you for the World Cup, but if I tell you, I can prove to you that there's life elsewhere and technology and show you things, and I take it and I show the world. The collapse of religion and governments would happen so quickly.
There's no end, especially since media has been around, since cameras have been around. There's no end of photos of unidentified flying objects. There's no end of
written history.
Yeah, but there is
no end of them. There is no end of ancient civilizations having levels of tech that until 20, 30 years ago, we had no way of interpreting.
Correct.
There is no end of it. Now, the question that gets raised is there a thread with, is there a concrete thread, or are these stories? Now, the more and more they come out, the more and more things you see, there is a certain amount of doubt. I think a reasonable person could have a certain amount of doubt as to what is portrayed and what is actual reality. I guess there's a reasonable sense of doubt. The naysayers will hang on only to that one part of the doubt. And most people who don't particularly want to change the narrative or to think too hard about the narrative are happy to go along with the narrative. The whole progression of physics, science, mathematics is that you're constantly searching for the things you don't know. Even though you've built one step, you know that there is another step, and you know that there is another step, and then you know there is another step. We use that step to stand on to view the universe in a greater way. And that's the acceptance of that in itself. The open-mindedness to that is, in my sense, the antidote to stupidity and idiocy, really.
Well, my question is now, are you all open-minded to the next step that I'm about to take? And that's to wind this week's show up and push the button.
We're not ready.
We can listen. Joe Rogan can go 3 hours. We can go 3 hours. Don't worry about it. We're fine.
That was actually the reason, the motivation for that.
One more time.
I said we were populated here from Mars. Mars was a dying planet. An ancient civilization sent us across and put the human population on Earth and engineered it correctly, and that's what it seems to be. I think
is this the correct way? Is this what they've done? Is the correct way? I want to see the mistake then.
I know I'm right. I studied physics.
Oh my God.
Wait, I will say this about
you know. Okay,
we have to leave this on a cliffhanger, of course, for David to make it exciting. There's a scientist that says when you look at our DNA strand, there are two, and I don't know all the technical terms, there's two little things that stick out that are our aging DNA. And he said when they look at it, it has been manipulated, artificially manipulated
140,
to make us
120?
Right, to make you live shorter than longer. And if it wasn't manipulated, you would live like 300-400 years. So I to the point of we were here from someone else or we were created is a very interesting point.
Now imagine the invasion of idiots living 300-400 years. You're gonna stick with them for thousands of years now.
May I say something on closing?
Sure.
Of course.
Trump for president.
Oh my God. Please.
Well,
we will have Trump anyway, you know it.
Huh? One more time?
We will have Trump.
And then we'll have World War III and brown shirts in America.
Get him on the show.
Why we will have World War III with Trump and not with Biden? It's closer with Biden.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. If you ever like to say, everybody who's watching the show today, don't forget to watch this week's edition of No Snobs or Knobs, because there is a revelation as to what date, the exact date, World War III is going to start.
And that, by the way, is Wednesday mornings.
Oh my God, I'm going to miss it. I don't like it because it will stick in my mind. I'll be waiting for this day. Oh my God! Like, do you remember the millennium? They said,
I found it on the
Incas calendar.
You found it on
the internet. Maya. It's got to be right. It's got to be right.
Oh, really? You found it on the internet? That's for sure.
That's the cliffhanger. No snobs.
Well, gentlemen, this was a fast. I'm glad you got to join us today. Don't forget to watch the Habana Cigar Show with Riz and I every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern time. So you can watch that show, which is always fun.
That's Hollywood
and then
Saturday,
you can watch Adam on the Eve every Monday live. Like we are live, and then the rebroadcast is on Tuesday. Live. Don't forget No Snobs or Knobs. That's Wednesdays. We have a host of other shows you can watch. You can go to our playlist and check it out if you would like. And we will be back. I don't know. Viewers may join us again next week. We'll have to see. Who knows what we're going to. We may have to expand this topic of idiots and the world and science and whatnot. So it could be interesting.
Mr. President, thank you for watching.
Yes, of course. Don't forget to subscribe and like.
And don't forget, guys, stay on until after the credits for the normal housekeeping. Take care, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.